What's up, everybody? Your boy Mo here for another classic review, and today I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the Rankin Bass. This is the famous 2D animated special, Frosty the Snowman, broadcast on CBS on December 7th of 1969, and immediately it was aired immediately after the fifth showing of A Charlie Brown Christmas, which that one came out in 1965. So damn. But yeah, before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, tell me, do you believe in magic? If so, go ahead, try it. But use it good, or you might get screwed up. So yeah, Frosty the Snowman became the special aired annually for network's Christmas and holiday season every year since it first aired in 1969, which became a classic. If we all don't remember Frosty the Snowman, it was done by Rankin Bass. It was written by Romero Mueller, who mostly wrote every script for almost all of Rankin Bass specials, from Rudolph, Santa Claus Coming to Town, Here Comes Peter Cottontail, every Rankin Bass. When you see the credits, he's right there as writer. And we also have the talent voice of Billy D. Wolf, Jackie Verman, Paul Frees, June Foray, and Jimmy Durante. And yeah, if you don't remember June Foray, she's a legend in the anime world, because if you don't remember her, she's almost like the voice. She's the voice from Looney Tunes and other great cartoons, even others. She did some for for Disney as well. Like, if you remember Trick or Treat, which was a Donald Duck cartoon, she voiced Witch Hazel, which is kind of funny because she also voices Witch Hazel in Looney Tunes, which people say, "Oh crap, you're gonna sue." Actually, there is a product called Witch Hazel, which, yeah. And she's famous known for being voice of Granny, Tweety's owner. Which, come on. She had a lot of voice. If you don't recognize the voice, what are you doing? And yeah. Beside that, this became a holiday classic because this is among the top ones. You got Charlie Brown Christmas, you have Rudolph, this one, The Grinch. And fun fact, even Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, because there are actually 18 anime adaptations of the Christmas Carol, starting with Mr. Magoo, which was the first one. I think the second one was the other one, the one I did the review on, that won an Academy Award. I think that was the second one, anime one. Then came the Disney version of Mickey Mouse. It keeps going. But yeah, they're the most notable one. But yeah, let's stick to Frosty. So the special was based on the Walter E. Rollins and Steven Nelson song of the same name. It featured the voice of comedian Jimmy Durante in his final film role, which, damn. Which, if you can tell, if you see the cast list, he's actually himself, but animated, because Rankin Bass likes to get great voice actors. Like, example, let's start with Bill Ives as Sam Snowman from Rudolph. Then you have Fred Astaire doing twice, one for Santa Claus Coming to Town and the Easter Bunny Coming to Town. And you got Mr. K, I forgot his name. Is it Jimmy K or Johnny K? I don't know, I gotta check. Who voices Seymour Sassafras. This is the Seymour Sassafras, and this is Company. From Easter Bunny Coming to Town. I like his more. Actually, you can see him from the opening of Here Comes Peter Cottontail. He's on a unicycle, like, "Hey, here I come. Grab an umbrella. Hello. I am Seymour Sassafras. This is the Seymour Sassafras, and this is Company." Come on. Who would have cracked a laugh like that? Those are two of my favorites. Fred Astaire and Jimmy K, I think. But still, you got other talented ones. Damn. There are a lot, actually. who took the mantle of narrating. Oh boy, let's stick back to Frosty here for a minute. Of course, we have Billy the Wolf as Professor Hinkle, the villain, and Jackie Vermin as Frosty. Which the special story follows up a group of school children led by a girl named Karen, who builds a snowman called Frosty and places a magical hat on his head, which we all know, which makes him come to life. But after noticing the hot temperature and fearing that he'll melt, of course. But after noticing Frosty along with Karen and a rabbit named Hocus Pocus. Wow. This is before Hocus Pocus was witchy. Must go to the North Pole to be safe from the melting. The two guys behind this, Arthur Rankin Jr. and Joel Bass, wanted to give the show its character for the look of a Christmas card. So Paul Coker Jr., a green card of Mad magazine artist, was hired to do the character and background drawings for the animation and produced by Mushi Production in Tokyo, Japan, with Yosuka Steve Nagagawa, and then Mushi staffer Osumu Dezaki, who is uncredited among the animation staff. Yeah, I can imagine when you're taking animation school and they show you like Rankin Bass cartoons. Hey, you thought it was made in the US? Oh no, you're watching a Japanese film. It's no joke. You think it's stop motion? Oh, it has to be American. No, that's Japanese. You've been watching Japanese specials most of your life. Here's a fun thing. They voice record in Canada, write the scripts in New York, and do the animation in stop motion in Japan. Ain't that weird? That's actually pretty cool. And by that, and also Durante was one of the first people to record the song when it was released in 1950. Though at the time the song has slightly different lyrics, he re-recorded the song for the special. Rankin Bass veteran writer Romeo Mueller adapted and expanded the story for television because if you've seen the song, it's like 2 minutes and the special is like 25 minutes. So I put more fill, like more depth. Like you got the one for the school, the mission with the magician, everything. They're trying to go to the North Pole and that. So yeah, to expand more. As he's not the only one. He had done with the animatic stop motion production of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because it's the same thing. Because you've seen the book, you know, stuff from Rudolph getting bullied, then it's a foggy night, then Santa goes to him, then he has to go join the reindeer team in there. And then when you see the special, it expanded to him being bullied, and you have the site with his friend Herbie the elf who wants to be a dentist, and you go down to toys. Their encounter with Bumble the snow monster of the north keeps going to add more and more, and it became a classic after that. And after that, TV Guide ranked the special as number 9 on its 10 best family holiday specials list. And damn, you got a lot of specials from these days. I think from the 60s, you have Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, A Charlie Brown Christmas, Frosty the Snowman. What else? When did Santa Claus Came to Town came out? Shit. Was it in the 60s? I don't know, but you had those top ones. Oh, The Grinch as well. The original, narrated by Boris Karloff and sung by Pharrell Ravencroft. If you don't remember him, he was everywhere. He was Tony the Tiger from Frosted Flakes. He was one of the busts from the Haunted Mansion. He was well, he did a lot with that voice. Damn. As for the voice cast, he had Jackie Vermin as Frosty, Jimmy Durante as himself, and he's the narrator. This is his last voice acting role. Yeah, Billy the Wolf, as Professor Hinkle, the idiot magician who found out he has a magic hat, but he's trying to murder Frosty. Yeah, June Foray as Karen, the school children, and the teacher, which, wow. Also, you have Paul Frees again as the traffic cop, ticket man, and Santa Claus, which Paul Frees you find everywhere. And I expect the Paul Frees to be the villain, because if you see Paul Frees, he'll be playing the villain. Like, he played the Winterbolt, Kubla Kraus, the Burgermeister from Santa Claus Comes to Town. And he did Santa Claus as well, from Rudolph's and Frosty's Christmas in July. That one. He only did Santa Claus. Strange why Mickey Rooney didn't reprise the role, since he did the one for New Year, A Year Old Santa Claus. What else? And also his first time as Santa Claus Comes to Town. I don't know why. I don't have the answer for that, but hey. We also have Susanna Davidson as Karen, later airings, and Greg Thomas as children, later airings, which, why? I think there had to be like an update for that. I gotta check. As the production credits, we have, of course, producers and directors Arthur Rankin and Joel Bass, writer Romeo Mueller. Going based on the story of Frosty by Steve Nelson and Jack Rollins, care design by Paul Coker Jr., continuity designer Don Duga, special effects engineer Jim Harris and Phil Kay, editorial supervisor Erwin Goldris, animation by Mushi Studios, animation supervisor Steve Nakagawa, and animation director Asumu Dezaki, who is uncredited, pity, and musical director by Maury Rawls, which, hey, when you always see a Rankin Bass special, you know you'll be hearing the music of Maury Rawls. Also in the credit, along him and Joel Bass. What did he ever do? I actually saw a documentary called The Animagic World of Rankin Bass, which is actually pretty interesting, explaining the history of the Rankin Bass and everything. Including their stop motions, including the one with Frosty, explains why they... You see the animation, you see the outline of the dark line. That was a design used by Paul Coker Jr. in the green cards as well. And also, there's something I also learned, because you already see the behind the scenes, because they never do that. They're rare to see a behind the scenes of the production of these specials, like from Rudolph, from Frosty, from a lot actually. And they have become a well sought out, because usually other productions like example, the history of making a Walt Disney's first animated feature, Snow White. Then you got Pinocchio. You got other ones that did a lot of background how they did the animation, including one for Fleischer when he did of Golfer's Travels, including the history of their cartoon business with the Popeyes, Betty Boop, a lot of it, including Disney, Looney, Warner Brothers, and GM. Rankin Bass is the one that there's books of it. You actually can buy the books in Amazon, eBay. Explains the history of different ones. Like you got the holiday one, you got the one of Monster Party, Mad Monster Party. Going a bio by Arthur Rankin Jr. and more, because you already see a full actual documentary about these guys, like an hour, because the documentary itself is like 42 minutes. I think it came out with the Rudolph or Santa Claus Comes to Town. I gotta check. It's kind of rare to see actual behind the scenes, because there's no one left to actually tell about what like to be doing animation. Because remember, almost everyone's dead. I don't know if there's anyone left who did the animation in Japan, because mostly the Japanese, I don't know, what's the longer life, like 100 years old or more? It's kind of rare, or families might know. Including the puppets, they don't length to last. Example, take the example, the Rudolph and Santa puppet. There was an owner who managed to, I think the secretary had it, and one of the rangers melted in the garage, like, shit! Will you put that puppet in the oven? And during a Roadhouse showcase, they actually showed the puppet, which it turns out they're actually real ones. They had to restore it, and they're in display in the Museum of Puppetry in Atlanta, in Georgia. So They could be gazed and loved by millions all. But there are others. You got one who actually owns the Father Time puppet. And by the looks of it looks like in good condition. But you have others, which they're quite rare. I think the ones that people want to see more are the puppets from A Year About Santa Claus, the Miser Brother ones, like Snow Miser, Heat Miser, you have Mother Nature. I think Mrs. Claus and the Original Santa are in the exhibit. I saw the World Rankin Bass. They showed the two puppets there as well. They're quite rare to find and displayed. I kind of hope they're actually safe. In Japan, there are two copies of Rudolph and Santa. The ones in the US, and there are actually ones in Japan, including the reindeers and other production done by Animagic at the time. Which is actually pretty cool. I want to check that out. As for the music, released by Rhino in October 1st of 2002, the entire audio portion of Frosty the Snowman is available on CD, along with the entire audio portion of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The Rankin Bass special produced in 1970. Oh, okay. A year after this. This edition contains the full dialogue and song audio of both specials. Like I mentioned before with Santa Claus Come to Town, they were both together. You have the melody of... Oh yeah, they were both mixed. You have both the melodies of Frosty and Santa Claus. You also have the Frosty's theme, including the beginning, conclusion, including the one for Santa Claus, and the other one. Which I didn't know that. As for home media, the first one was Laserdisc, of course, from Family Home Entertainment, released... I think it was Laserdisc. Yeah, first Laserdisc, then VHS as part of the Christmas Classic series from 1989 to 1993, with multiple reprints throughout the 90s. It was paired with The Little Drummer Boy on Laserdisc in 1992 upon its 1989 and 93 release. The special was also bundled in a box set with other Rankin Bass Christmas specials, including Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The 1973 Chuck Jones Holiday Special, A Very Merry Cricket. I think it's The Cricket in the Heart, I think. But that's another Rankin Bass special I've seen. I remember one of the cats, I've seen these commercials from Golden Books. They're the ones who did most of the VHS releases for the Rankin Bass. You had one for The Little Drummer Boy, Rudolph, Santa Claus Comes Down, Frosty, Frosty's Return, that. I have vivid memories watching those trailers from Golden Books when they had the distribution rights to the Rankin Bass. I think I think Universal now owns the rights. Yeah. I was saying, the sequel to like I said, Frosty the Snowman, which aired on CBS in 1992. In 1998, Sony Wonders and Golden Books Family, like I mentioned, Golden Books Family Entertainment released a special on VHS. Was also paired with these other regular specials, including The Cricket and the Hearth, like I mentioned, and the Special Holiday Classics Collection box set. Now I'll talk about DVD and Blu-ray. The special was also released on DVD by Sony Wonder and Golden Books in 2001, and Classic Media in 2002 and 2004, and by Genius Entertainment in 2007. Vivendi Entertainment re-released it on DVD for the first time on Blu-ray on October 12th. My God, what's with versus Christmas special in October? They like to release Halloween specials in December and Christmas special in October. What the hell? Good grief. But, anywho, back to what I was saying. It was a DVD Blu-ray combo pack back in November 6th of 2012. Most DVD releases also include Frosty Return on these. I think there were 3 animated Frosty specials on 2D. The original from 1969, Frosty Return, and Frosty's Winter Wonderland. And his only stop motion appearance was Rudolph Frosty's Christmas in July. That was the only stop motion. And the 2005 one. We all know which one. And most DVD release also include Frosty Return, like I said before, on September 8th of 2015. Classic Media re-released both the special, and Santa Claus Come to Town for the 45th Anniversary Collector's Edition on Blu-ray and DVD edition to the 50th anniversary release of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer in 2014. Universal Pictures released a deluxe edition of the special along with other specials on Blu-ray and DVD on October 16th of 2018. And there were other sequels after this, because the first one, Frosty's Winter Wonderland, was released in 1976, which was a standalone sequel to Rankin Bass. Was also written by Romeo Mueller. Narrative was provided by Andy Griffith, if you don't remember him. And he was made because Jimmy Durante retired after a stroke in 1972, which is pity. Which Jackie Verman reprised his role as Frosty. If you don't remember Andy Griffith, you heard the Andy Griffith Show, along with Don Knutts as Barney, the cop. Which, of course, the animation was produced by Topecraft in Japan. Unlike the original, the sequel takes place later in the winter season and is based upon the 1934 song Winter Wonderland. This plot follows Frosty's pursuit of a wife and the town's effort to preserve him into springtime, which we meet the villain, Jack Frost, voiced by Paul Frees. It's introduced as a new antagonist, and no character besides Frosty and the traffic cop return from the original, as the special takes place in the late winter. It makes no mention of Christmas. The original song, likewise, did not mention Christmas either. Then you have Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, which I imagine this is the 1979 Rankin Bass feature-length sequel. Was filmed in the Animagic stop-motion style Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Well, Frosty's special is 30 minutes long. Rudolph's special runs 60 minutes. This film is feature-length, 97 minutes long, 120 minutes on television, including the commercials. Jack Verman returned as the voice of Frosty for the final time. Not just him, including the voice actress Billy May, who's been the voice of Rudolph since his first appearance in 1960, which is Zam. The sequel, which is focused on which Uncle Jack Frost also makes a brief return from Frosty's Winter Wonderland, although said during the 4th of July. This sequel is the only one to mention Christmas, and Santa Claus plays a major role. This is the only Frosty special not to feature a narrator. And we got Frosty's Return. This is the 1992 half-hour special. It's not truly a sequel to the original since it was produced not by Rankin Bass, but by CBS on the characters. The characters, settings, voice, and animation by Billy Melendez. Even for him, he was a major part in the original, like shit. What was the animation? I think it was I forgot. According to changes, Frosty's physical appearance, personality, and humor are markedly different, and he has the ability to live without his top hat, which, what the fuck? In direct contrast with the Rankin Bass special, despite this, it was included as a bonus on the previous DVD. John Goodman provided the voice of Frosty. Yeah, you're missing. Yeah, imagine Sully voicing a snowman. Kitty! Oh my god. And we have Jonathan Winters serves as the narrator. If you know who Jonathan Winters, he's a famous comedian. Also, he does this amazing voice acting. He can interpret any voice, even people from his childhood, from his town. Like, if you've seen the special, like, you heard the D. Martin Celebrity Roast, he did a roast on when they were honoring Ronald Reagan. Before he became president, he was still an actor. And he pretended to be Mom Fricketts, which was Ronnie. It was actually pretty funny. And also, I think his last later roles were his final voice acting role. He did a Papa Smurf for the Smurfs. The first two, because I think his final performance was the second film before he passed away. I think it was around 2013 or 2015. I gotta check. It's been a while. Which the special avoids all mention of Christmas. It has an environmentalist theme as Frosty works to stop a corporate executive who sprays product wipes out snow, which we've seen. I remember a scene where the exec sprays the spray on Frosty and it actually hurts him, literally. And finally, the Hoochie. I remember this. This is The Legend of Frosty the Snowman. This is actually straight to video. Film was produced by Classic Media, previous right holders for the original Rankin Bass special and the remainder of their pre-1974 library, which is actually, I remember this aired in Cartoon Network. There are two versions of this because there's one that was uncut, that was more longer, and one was there were scenes were missing. But I remember that compared to the others, there were scenes were missing versus the other one that have all was uncut, which is pretty confusing at that time period. This movie has been bundled with the original 1969 Rankin Bass special and the CBS sequel and aired on Cartoon Network, like I said before, back in 2005. The story features almost entirely new characters, and there are some inconsistencies through Frosty's appearance, closely resemble the Rankin Bass character design. Professor Hinkle also makes an appearance in a flashback cameo role, and is later revealed to be the grandfather of the main character, who is an adult, is the narrator, voiced by, I did not know this, Deadpool himself, Burt Reynolds. Frosty is voiced by Bill Fagerbakke, and best known as the voice of Patrick on SpongeBob. Wow. You have Deadpool being the narrator, and Sponge and Patrick as Frosty. It's kind of weird. I reckon that, and he's the only character ever appeared from the original special. No, and I think the main character, who was the narrator when he was a kid, found a comic book of Frosty, and it's like you see like the original from the Rankin Bass. You see like an Easter egg right there from the Rankin Bass from 1969. Like Professor Hinkle had a son. He didn't believe in magic. What the hell happened? Okay, first of all, when did this happen? Because if you remember from the Rankin Bass, his hat was actually magic. He didn't believe it. Here, he didn't believe in magic, and yet his hat was magic. It's a bit confusing, if you ask me. As for the amateur style, the story, damn. It's timeless, it's classic. What can I say? If it's in the top 9, I agree. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Frosty the Snowman from 1969. Did you guys like it when it first came out? Did you watch it as a kid? Do you have any holiday specials including Frosty, Rudolph, these other holiday specials from the good old days? But yeah, let me know what you think of Frosty the Snowman. What was your favorite song? What was your favorite scene? Which one made you laugh more? Which one made you cry? Because, come on. The scene where you see Karen crying over what's left of him. That's like a grim scene. Like, he got murdered. Just with heat. But yeah, let me know what you think of Frosty the Snowman. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, like, hit the bell for more great content. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.